I want to thank you all for joining here today. I'm Steve Zeltzer. I'm a member of the Pacific Media Workers Guild in San Francisco, and also rank and file member, and also I'm with the United Front Committee for Labor Party. We're here today as part of solidarity for the Italian workers, for the Palestinians who are facing a genocide in Gaza and pogroms on the West Bank. And we're here today at the offices of the ILWU International. And it's part of a joint action in the United States at the International Longshore Association and the ILWU, calling on these unions to use their power to bring about a labor boycott of all military cargo to Israel. And this is a critical way that workers around the world can take action to stop the genocide. In Italy, today there was a general strike. All the ports were shut down in Italy, and workers throughout the country took to the streets. And this is spreading. And this strike in Italy, the general strike, and we'll hear from one of the strikers, was not only against the genocide, but also against militarism, because the Italian government, the French government, wants to have a draft. They want to put money, billions of dollars, into the war machine. And in the United States, similarly, this country, Trump and Biden before him, were demanding that the Europeans, the Japanese, the Koreans spend more money in the military. At the same time, people are going hungry in this country. People can't get health care. So the ILWU, International Longshore and Warehouse Union, is an important union, and in fact in 1934, in July 5th, there was a general strike in San Francisco. And this union was built out of a fight for democracy and out of the fight for workers' control. And unfortunately, the union leadership have abandoned the principles of Harry Bridges, one of the founders. Harry Bridges was an anti-imperialist. He was against U.S. imperialism. In fact, he was one of the few union leaders in the world, in the United States, not in the world, who opposed the U.S. intervention in Korea during that period. So what has happened? What has happened is that the union leadership, and not just the union leadership, but the AFL-CIO, the ILA, are supporting U.S. imperialism. And they even refuse to say that it's genocide, even though people around the world say that this is genocide. You can see it. Yesterday, 2 people in Jenin, the West Bank, gave up, they surrendered, and they were both massacred. They were both killed. And the Minister of Security there said he supported their murder. So when you have a regime, a fascist, Nazi Zionist regime, that's taking this kind of action, it's incumbent on working people around the world, unions, to take a stand and to stop this war. It's not going to stop by protest alone. It's not going to stop by speeches. It has to stop by workers' action. And we're here today to call and urge the longshoremen to take action along with the workers in Europe. Dock workers in France, dock workers in Italy and Greece are all taking action. And the ILWU should be leading that action as well. And also, we have to say that both the Democrats and Republicans, both parties are supporting Israel. They've given Israel billions and billions of dollars. In fact, Israel has a national health care system, yet people here can't even get health care. And we also have to say, we're going to have a speaker, that the politicians and the universities and the state are trying to repress and get rid of journalists and others, professors, faculty members who are criticizing Israel. And what they argue is, if you're critical of Israel, you're an anti-Semite. That's reactionary. It's an ideology of the Zionism. To criticize Israel makes you an anti-Semite. Actually, the government of Israel is working with anti-Semites, and they're working with Nazis around the world. They're supporting fascist governments, and this is a long history because during the 1930s, the Zionists actually worked with the Nazis. In fact, they invited Adolf Eichmann to come to Palestine at that point and support the project, the Zionist project. So we're saying we have to have internationalism in this day. We have to support the workers, the people of Palestine, and we have to join with workers around the world. So our first speaker is Sang Hae Kil, and she's a faculty member at San Jose State University who's been retaliated against for speaking up for Palestine and supporting the students. Welcome, Sang.
My name is Sang Kil, and I'm the first full professor fired for Palestine. San Jose State University and the California State University system terminated me this week. My last day was this Wednesday, and I just received my last paycheck by mail today. I won my faculty hearing panel on October 23rd of this year, and I appealed my dismissal, and the faculty hearing panel unanimously recommended that I get no discipline, and that was delivered November 6th. But the San Jose State University president overturned that verdict last week on November 21st, and now my case goes to arbitration. So I've been here, I've asked to talk today about my role as a faculty member, the unionism, and the Zionist movement that have targeted free speech, particularly faculty free speech and student free speech on campus movements. I am a member of the California Faculty Association that covers the California State University system and over 30,000 faculty in California. And I'm speaking as an individual today about my experience and not as any representative of a group. So recently I confronted my chancellor and the CSU Board of Trustees. Last week on November 18th, I spoke and gave a 1-minute comment to the board, and here's what I said. I said, hello, CSU Board of Trustees. My name is Sang Kil, and my comments are as an individual and not as a representative of SJSU or CFA. My understanding is that I am the first full tenured professor in the USA to be fired for pro-Palestinian speech, and that happened at San Jose State University. I've come to address Gavin Newsom specifically. You recently committed what I see as blue MAGA maneuvers. You signed AB 715 into law, which would shield genocide and Zionism from critical teaching in K-12 classrooms, conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. This collaborates with MAGA mania's decimating attacks on our higher ed institution and industry. Recently, CSU LA gave up personal employee info to the EEOC in collaboration with this line of attack on higher education. My termination is part of this conflation of anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism at SJSU, and I hold CSU and this board responsible for this political targeting of free speech and academic freedom in education. You all for sure are now jumping on the Trump train to erode the education system of academic freedom and living wage dignity for all employees in the CSU system. I recently won my public hearing appeal of my termination, and I will continue to fight for free speech, academic freedom, tenure, faculty rights of co-governance, and justice for Palestine. I just want to note that the CSU Board of Trustees only gives a member of the public 1 minute to comment to their trustees, which is like the Hunger Games of public comment. So I was also asked to comment on the broader union movement and as it relates to higher ed. And California Faculty Association is SEIU Local 1983. So we are a branch of the wider SEIU California. So unfortunately, even though my union, the California Faculty Association, objected to AB 715, the bigger union, SEIU California, stayed neutral, unfortunately, on AB 715. So I did confront the SEIU president about the matter on September 24th, 2025 at the SEIU State Council meeting earlier this year in Sacramento before the meeting. And I said to him, what ICE did to you is what AB 715 will do to teachers in the classroom. And he responded to me, why are you conflating the two? Well, first of all, I'm a border scholar, so I know what I'm talking about. And second of all, David Huerta was kidnapped by ICE at a protest in LA earlier this year and was injured. He is currently facing federal charges for protesting ICE. I followed him from the parking lot to the entrance of the building as I told him I was getting fired for Palestine at SGSU, and that SCIU staying neutral on AB 715 helped grease the skids for more of us educational workers to be targeted for criticizing Zionism. So far, SCFA, my union, has been silent on my case because they have not emailed members to update them about my termination or the details of my case. Though SCFA has promised that they will share soon with their members what's happening to me, but I haven't seen that materialize in my inbox. A CFA member now leads AAUP California, and is also committed to staying silent on my case on Palestine in regards to academic freedom, and that's an additional issue that educational workers need to fight. AAUP stands for the American Association of University Professors, and it's the union and membership association of faculty and other academic professionals. AAUP sets the professional standards for faculty in higher education, and CFA is member of the AAUP. In regard to what's happening to students in the CSU system, this past October 7th, several student activists at CSU campus Northridge were arrested and brutalized by campus police when they were protesting the genocide there. So the targeting of anti-Zionist speech continues against our students on CSU campuses. In regards to institutional academic boycotts against Zionism in Israel, AAUP used to not support academic or cultural boycotts. I know this because I got on hit lists like Canary Mission and other hit lists back in the early 2000s when I signed the BDS. And I remember seeking AAUP's policies on the matter and being disappointed when I saw that they did not support academic boycotts, particularly of Israel. But now AAUP is under new leadership and reversed their position, and now they support academic boycotts. So it is with much urgency that I appeal to faculty and I ask them that it's okay if you're scared right now. We're living under a fascist regime. But if you don't overcome your fear and find the bravery within you to speak out about this genocide and to support longshoremen as they resist or try to resist the war machine that are using our ports to assemble weapons to destroy the Palestinian people. Now is the time to dig really deep and find that bravery within yourself to organize, unite, and speak out against this genocide. And I urge you all to unite with other unions and other groups who are against this genocide, because now is the time to organize and to fight against this global Zionist war machine that is not only decimating the Palestinian people, their land, their children, their families, but also decimating free speech, academic freedom, and the right to protest on all of the campuses in this nation and beyond. So it is with great pleasure that I support the Oakland arms embargo and the longshoremen work there to try to prevent the war machine from assembling these weapons that are destroying human beings on our planet. And I also urge us to support the APEC Out of U.S. Politics campaign that was launched by the People's Conference of Palestine in Detroit earlier this year. It is essential and it is vital that we not only support the union work against the militarization and the weaponization that supports this genocide, but we also have to fight and unite against the money that is feeding this war machine that enables these genocidal practices to happen against the Palestinian people, as well as other groups on this planet. And I urge us all to unite, organize together, and fight against this Zionist lie machine that is coming after us all. Thank you.
We actually have a statement from a trade unionist in Italy on the strike today in Italy. We'll be playing that.
Costaccioli from USB Italy. I am very sorry for my rusty English. I would like to thank you for asking me to connect your fight with ours. Today we call our third general strike after the last two made in September, October. In more than 50 cities, from biggest to smallest all over our country, more than 500,000 people get back on the street protesting against wars, Palestinian genocide, but also against the war economy, which is the one who's cutting our salary and rights, rise our billets, reduce dramatically our public services. These are the two faces of the same medal. The system that killed hundreds of thousands of Palestinians is the same that make profit on wars, as well as through exploitation of workers all over the world. In Genoa, where everything started, together with our dock workers, a big demonstration of more than 15,000 people among workers, students, citizens, blocked against the city. There were welcome personalities like Greta Thunberg and Francesca Albanese to witness another day of a great struggle. As USB trade unions, we promise to go ahead, to keep blocking weapons in our ports and other transport strategic infrastructure directed to any war scenario, and keep asking for and acting for a commercial embargo to the murderous state of Israel. In this path, international solidarity is no more an option, it's the future of our struggle. That's why it is so important to us your invitation, and so meaning to feel to be in the same battle all together. Free Palestine, free the world from the Lord of Wars.
Thank you for that statement of solidarity from the Italian workers to American workers, and that's why we're here in front of the ILWU to urge their members to take action in conjunction with the workers in Italy, in France, in Greece, and in Spain who are blocking all military cargo to Israel. We have to act internationally. All workers, not only longshoremen, airline workers, other workers need to shut down Israel, and that is by direct worker action. So our next speaker is Frank Romano, and he was on the flotilla and has been a long-time activist in solidarity with Palestine. So welcome, Frank.
My name is Dr. Frank Romano. I'm the owner and participant in the Handala and a member of the Global Samud Flotilla Spectre boat, and I was recently released from prison from Israel. I'm also one of the lawyers that represent the Palestinian people before the International Criminal Court. I was at Sigonella, a U.S. naval and Italian facility in Italy with the CGIL, which is the Italian labor union, and this labor union organized a huge demonstration against Sigonella, especially since it serves as the most important U.S. base and Israeli base, Israeli Air Force base in particular, from which we think drones bombed the flotilla off the coast of Greece. So, after the Handala was launched in June to Gaza, a month later, the Global Samud Flotilla was launched also to Gaza with tons of food, water, and medication to counterbalance against this genocide. A month later, or just a few weeks later, in September, 5 boats were bombed off, as I said before, the coast of Greece. The CGIL, the Italian labor union, trade union, helped to inspire a demonstration that closed the entire country of Italy, closed it down, and forced the Prime Minister, Zionist Prime Minister Meloni, to send an Italian naval vessel to us, to the Global Samud Flotilla, to protect us. This is to remind you all the potential power of your action here. I want now to salute the Italian Dock Workers Union for organizing this worldwide demonstration for Palestine. And I want to thank you for your solidarity and for inspiring others to stand for Palestine against this Israeli genocide and against the U.S. and other collaborators, especially those sending weapons to Israel. So, finally, with respect to the military-industrial complex, I want to emphasize, shut it down for Palestine. Shut it down for Palestine. Repeat after me. Shut it down for Palestine. Shut it down for Palestine. And your strength, it's not a question of numbers. I can see every one of you in your heart wants justice. We want justice for the U.S. professors, justice for the world, because Palestine is helping us free ourselves from this military-industrial complex that controls the world. Now I have two more, just quick phrase for the Italians. Grazie Italia per tuo lavoro per Palestina. Forza Italia, Forza Palestina, Forza Palestina. Grazie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank. Our voices will not be silenced, and we're going to build this movement, this working class movement, to stop the genocide, to free the Palestinians and to free the working people of the world. And we are faced immediately and eminently with an attack on Venezuela by this criminal fascist government. They have got an armada facing the people of Venezuela. They can't take care of people here. They can't take care of the youth, the working class, but they want another invasion of Venezuela. And there's a long history of U.S. imperialism invading Venezuela. And unfortunately, the AFL-CIO has been complicit and colluded with the CIA and with the Solidarity Center, which has received over $1 billion from the U.S. government for international operations. This is a crime. This is a labor crime. The collaboration of the AFL-CIO with the CIA and the U.S. government in trying to overturn governments in Venezuela, of the coup in Chile, where they killed tens of thousands of people. This has to stop, and in the United States, we have to stop these union bureaucrats, these Zionist bureaucrats, from supporting U.S. imperialism. They're not helping the workers here. They're not helping the workers anywhere. When you support U.S. imperialism, you are attacking the workers in this country. Who pays for these wars? It's the U.S. workers, out of health care, out of education, out of housing. It's a class war internationally, and it's a class war here. So our next speaker is Ricardo Ortiz, a labor activist and researcher and internationalist from Puerto Rico. Welcome, Ricardo.
Thank you, Steve. So you're exactly right on target when you say, and previous speakers have denounced Yankee imperialist foreign policy oppressing the people both in Palestine, in Latin America, and within the confines of this empire, right here in the belly of the beast. Every day people are becoming more poor in this country. People can barely afford to live here in this city and many cities across the United States. The imperialist government that rules us over is attacking federal workers, have fired federal workers. They are attacking Medicaid, Medicare. They want to, drive masses into complete despair. And some theories of social, thought has stated that the foreign policy of the country is a reflection of the internal policy of the capitalist class of that country. In this case, we live under the most powerful imperialist country on earth. And the United States has about 900 bases around the world. And the military-industrial complex is just a reflection of the system that we live, which is capitalism in its imperialist stage. The United States fears that its power is declining, which it is. This is a declining empire, and they are desperate, going around the world trying to impose their will. Latin America, which traditionally has been their backyard, now is facing through a new wave of militarization. Now is Venezuela the new enemy. And the United States, in the last few months, have been doing a complete encirclement of Venezuela, moving the aircraft carrier, the most modern of the American fleets, the Gerald Ford, from the Mediterranean down to the Caribbean. Today, it was revealed that Pete Hedges, the Secretary of War, just spent time in the Dominican Republic talking with President Luis Abinader. And now the Dominican Republic has been pressured to allow the U.S. to use one military base and access to another airfield right there. So what does this move indicate? That obviously the United States is preparing to at least do airstrikes on Venezuela. I mean, they have mobilized F-35 fighter bombers into Puerto Rico. They have built a whole armada that has ships in Trinidad Tobago, has pushed the Prime Minister of Trinidad Tobago to agree with Yankee imperialism to establish and allow the American fleet to be based there also. So what is this? This is just another more modern version of the Monroe Doctrine, which the American imperialism as an emerging empire established in the 19th century. And ever since, the U.S. has made the Caribbean basin a base for operations and oppression. And we got to oppose that. Labor has the power and the potential to stop all this genocide. Why the United States is interested in invading or attacking Venezuela, most likely attacking? Because they want to put all that oil in the hands of these fat cat oil companies, particularly one of them, Chevron, which is located and based right here in California at the moment. So we have to protest, be it for the Palestinian people, Venezuela, and for us right here. I mean, every day the democratic space in this country is being closed. Trump wants to make it constitutional. He wants to eliminate the barely efficient Labor Relations Board. The Supreme Court that rules, that obeys and acts at the behest of Trump, has declared that ICE and the federal police can stop people that they do determine to be suspect of being supposedly undocumented. What does that mean? In their decision, in the court decision, they said that you could be subject to detention because you have an accent or you might look like you are undocumented. What the hell is that? That is profiling. It's making racial and cultural profiling illegal in this legal in this country, I should say. So we got to stop that. Attacks against labor. I mean, firing people from jobs. How long are we going to wait? ILWU has a history of taking the lead in social causes, pushed by the membership. So, you know, the rank and file have pushed the ILWU to take stance historically. So we got to push, demand the labor movement, the working class to come out in numbers and stop wars and demand a change of the system that rules us. Capitalism cannot continue to be the system that rules our lives. It is a system that needs wars, that needs poverty, that base its domination using racism, sexism. So, comrades, friends, allies, stand up, call for a general strike and for workers to power, to build workers' councils, to build a workers' party that could get rid of this system of exploitation. Thank you.
There have been general strikes in the United States. In fact, there was one in 1877 in St. Louis where workers took over the city during the National Railway strike. And the last general strike was in 1946 in Oakland. And in this city in San Francisco in 1934, there was a general strike. Sarah Nelson, the president of the airline flight attendants, which is affiliated to the CWA, has called for a general strike. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, has called for a general strike against the raids, the ICE terror raids, the fascist goons who are attacking people. We have to support a national general strike. We have to shut this country down and stop the genocide that's going on, which is funded by Americans through their tax dollars. This government is funding genocide not just in Israel, or in Palestine rather, but all over the world. It's funding military troops. And the working people in this country have to organize. They have to organize politically. There's no way of getting away from doing that. The ILWU has a tradition which we hope is not abandoning of internationalism. It's called the International ILWU, and it represents workers in Canada as well. We need internationalism. We have to break the nationalist boundaries of this country. The trade war that's being pitted, the war against the workers in Canada, workers in Mexico, workers in South Africa, the THESO, all over the world, China. This war is aimed at the working class. It's not aimed at helping the United States. The United States is not being helped by trade war. It's hurting working people here and around the world. So we have to unite the working class of the world. We have to organize. It is time that working people stand up and fight. And we also need to build a political party of labor in this country. Working people need their own political party. They cannot rely on the Democrats and Republicans. These two parties support war. They're Zionist parties. They support imperialism openly. And what we're saying is it's time for working people to stand up and defend themselves. Solidarity, brothers and sisters. We're also going to have an action tomorrow at Oakland, at the Oscar Grant Plaza on an International Day of Action for Palestine, November the 29th, to say that this genocide has to stop and working people in the United States have to stop the genocide. So thank you, brothers and sisters, solidarity, and continue the fight.
Boycott now! The genocide! Hands off the Palestinians!
It means steadfast perseverance, particularly in resistance to the occupation of your homeland. Sumud touches my heart. When voices join in harmony, and in that fleeting moment, when meaning coalesces there, all dark dissolving, clears the alleyways no more. Fresh bread scent of home pervades the air. No sandaled souls and dust of broken bones be bloody from the common hymn. And all the big parades and shock and awe and swagger on the carrion, the medals jangle helpless in the face of what is fair. Give me, oh yeah. Yeah. Give me an oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Give me in. Oh yeah. Join us in harmony. I remember you well, where you stood, where you fell. You were brutally slain, but your spirits remain. Rachel Curry and Shireen Abu Akleh. Mariella Franco, Sophie Skoll, Anne Frank, Iman Al-Hams. Many sisters from many lands. Oh, my sisters, help me to open their eyes. From up in the penthouse, we must all look like ants to them. Wake up, motherfuckers, we are women and men. Well up, unashamed, my bleeding heart. Give me an oh yeah. Give me an oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Give me an oh yeah. Join us in harmony. And then, across the great divide, come men and women, unafraid, to dash in laws, their bracelets at the wall. When voices join in harmony, and we turn the final page, when man evolves beyond the grass, and reason comes of age, and dogma and witchcraft and cant and propaganda and palantir, Lockheed, Groom and Shiv and Exxon and Pfizer and the oligarchs and miners who say we're sorry that we done it, mommy. We only done it for the fucking money. Oh yeah. Just for the money. Oh yeah. Just for the cash. When voices join in harmony, we will make a joyful sound. We will follow our own moral compass. We won't let their sleight of hand trump us. We will find 10,000 new voices in every crowd. And when all those new voices join us in harmony, standing shoulder to shoulder, from the river to the sea, people from every nation will hear that joyful sound. Ordinary people, just standing their ground, and together these ordinary people, together they will turn this shivering.